Sometimes, some people are too cruel. This girl was raped right in front of her husband, after which her entire family was killed, but she survived, and she will take revenge. I wish you pleasant viewing. Tasmania, 1825, during the Black War. Claire Carroll lives with her husband, Aidan, and their young daughter. The girl was given the nickname Nightingale for her good vocal abilities. On the day when the high military leadership arrived in the city, Claire sang in front of the soldiers. Previously, she was convicted, and she now hopes to receive the long-awaited papers that give her freedom. After the speech, Lieutenant Hawkins invites the girl to talk, and he hints to her that it would be nice to get gratitude for everything he did for her. Faced with rejection, he takes the girl by force. Returning home, the girl tries by all means to hide what happened from her husband. After learning that the release papers are still not signed, Aidan is going to personally go to Hawkins. In the morning, the girl watches with bated breath as her husband and the lieutenant leave for a conversation. A few minutes later, the man returns to work, gesturing to his wife that nothing worked. In the evening, under the influence of alcohol, Aidan lashes out at Hawkins in a tavern. Commander-in-Chief Goodwin becomes a witness to their scuffle. He calls the lieutenant to his office and reprimands him for what happened. Goodwin reveals that he will not give Hawkins a recommendation for the rank of captain. After the conversation, the enraged lieutenant is about to pay a visit to the Carroll family, as, in his opinion, it was they who caused his failures. Taking with him Sergeant Ruse and Ensign Yago, the lieutenant breaks into the house of a young family. In order to give Aidan maximum suffering, Hawkins takes possession of Claire right in front of his eyes, after which he kills the man and offers Ruse to use the girl. Unable to bear the piercing cry of a child, Jaga kills the child by slamming his head against the door. After realizing that they have committed serious crimes, the lieutenant orders Jug to get rid of Claire. Unable to find the strength to shoot, the soldier hits the girl with his butt. Waking up, poor Claire looks with horror at the bodies of her husband and daughter. A disconsolate woman goes to the commandant's office, where she is treated with contempt because it is not profitable for them to make public the fact that soldiers kill innocent people. After learning that the lieutenant went north to take up a new position, Claire asks her friends to bury her loved ones. Without hesitating a minute more, she sets off in pursuit. In order not to get lost, she hires a guide named Billy. From him, the girl learns that the soldiers also hired a guide, and together they go on their trail. At a halt, the soldiers discuss what happened, and Ensign Jaga expresses his concerns. He is sure that they can be hanged for what they have done, but the lieutenant assures him that Carroll's family is to blame for what happened. Meanwhile, Claire and Billy also stop for the night. As soon as the girl closes her eyes, she begins to hear the cry of her child. Nightmares do not let her go all night. In the morning, it starts to rain, but the travelers still go on the road. Meanwhile, Sergeant Rose finds a dark-skinned woman with a small daughter in the forest. The man drags the unfortunate woman to his camp, abandoning the woman's child. Hawkins gives the order to tie her to the cart and prepare for departure. Billy leads Claire to the river. The current is very strong, but if they manage to cross to the other side, this will significantly shorten their path. The girl resolutely directs the horse into the water, but the current knocks her out of the saddle. Billy manages to bring the animal to the shore and get out himself, but the girl is caught by the current. Seeing that Claire is being carried away by a stream of water, the man rushes to her aid. After a little rest, they set off again. Crossing the river, they lost a bag of supplies, so they had to stop at the first house they saw. Hunger causes them to steal food and then flee from an angry owner. At night, getting ready for bed, Claire sees an unfamiliar man. He is very glad that he found a pretty girl in the deep forest. He is already calling his friends to have fun, but Billy stuns the bastard, and he and Claire decide to urgently move on. Meanwhile, Hawkins satisfies his male needs with a dark-skinned captive. After handing her over to Ruse, he talks to the boy Eddie, who accompanies them. The kid has lost his parents and is looking for any opportunity to be useful to the army in order to feed himself. Dozing in the morning, Claire wakes up and sees Billy making a spear. He's going to hunt to get food for them. At this time, Hawkins' squad is attacked by dark-skinned men. They kill one of the workers and injure Jag. The men came for their woman, but the lieutenant kills her in front of them. Grabbing the essentials, the soldiers run into the forest. Wounded and frightened, the ensign wanders through the forest. Seeing people, he calls for help. Realizing that this is the mother of the baby he killed, Jaga rushes away. Claire asks Billy to look after the horse, and she goes after the fugitive. Catching up with him, the woman shoots the man. Jaga begs for mercy. The gun is jammed, and Claire rushes at her daughter's killer with her fists. In the fight, she takes the knife from him and stabs him several times. Then she hits him with the butt of a gun until Jag's head turns into a bloody mess. Seeing this, Billy is going to leave. Only after learning the true reasons for such a brutal murder does he agree to show her the way. Soon they find a wagon, which the soldiers were forced to abandon when they met with a dark-skinned detachment. After examining the clearing, Billy tries to warn Claire, but she insists on continuing on her way. Waking up in the morning from another nightmare, the girl suffers from severe chest pain. She is a nursing mother, and Milk simply has nowhere to go. Having lost consciousness and fallen into a ravine, she agrees to the ritual that Billy suggested. The ritual should help improve her well-being. The man leaves her to rest for a while, and he goes hunting. For the first time in several days, the travelers manage to eat properly. Meanwhile, Charlie, the escort of Hawkins' squad, leads them to a dead end. He did it on purpose to avenge everything that the military did to their brethren. The lieutenant is ready to offer anything to get out in the right direction, but the old man refuses. Sergeant Ruse, without hesitation, shoots him, for which he gets in the face from the lieutenant because he killed the only person who could get them out of there. A day later, Hawkins openly mocks Ruse, hands the gun to the boy Eddie, and appoints him a sergeant. There are only 4 of them left, supplies are running out, and they still don't know which way the city is. Meanwhile, Billy and Claire find Charlie's body. They bury him according to his traditions and go in pursuit. Now Billy wants vengeance for killing his uncle. They reach their goal very quickly. Hawkins spots Claire and manages to shoot first. The wounded girl runs away. Billy catches up with her and offers to hide. He goes for the horse and comes face to face with the Hawkins squad. The soldiers beat the guy and forced him to show them the way to the city. Along the way, Billy makes loud noises, ostensibly calling birds. In fact, he is giving signs to Claire so that she does not get lost. The lieutenant still notices the girl and makes several shots in her direction. All night, she wanders through the dark forest. The voices from that terrible night resound in her head all the time. In the morning, Claire notices the blackbird Billy was talking about and goes after him. Going out on the road, she meets a married couple. They explain to the girl that she is on the main road leading to the city. The carriage passing by stops, and the lady of honor sitting in it instructs the coachman to give the poor thing a ride. At some point, the girl notices Billy running out of the forest. Claire jumps off the carriage and rushes towards him. From the look in his eyes, Claire knows that Hawkins' squad is done for. They set off on the further journey together, and seeing a house on the outskirts, the travelers go inside. Dead owners lie on the bed. Having no other choice, the heroes stock up on food and clean clothes to go further. Along the way, they see a group of men leading black people, and Claire immediately points a gun at Billy, pretending to lead him to reprisal. A few miles later, they are overtaken by a cart containing an elderly couple. They invite the wanderers to their place so that they can clean themselves up and have a good rest. At dinner, an elderly man invites not only Claire but also Billy to the table, which the girl is incredibly happy about. Unexpectedly for everyone, the young man burst into tears. In the morning, Harriet drives the couple into town. There they come face to face with Hawkins, and he sends Ruse for a constable to announce that the lieutenant has caught a thief who tried to kill an officer. The enraged girl tells Billy to return to the hideout while she herself follows Hawkins to the tavern. In front of the officers, Claire tells the bastard everything she feels. Hawkins tries to justify himself to the new leadership and, in order to silence the girl, strikes her in the face. In response, the girl, looking into the eyes of the bastard, begins to sing. After which she silently leaves. Billy puts her on a horse, and they race out of town. At night, Claire wakes up and, not finding a guide, goes to the city. She sees Billy, who has the coloring of his tribe, enter Hawkins' room and stab him with a spear. Russ, who ran to the noise, shoots at the guy, but he still finds the strength to deal with the second bastard. The rest of the night the couple rides to the riverbank. Having completed the rite, Billy sits down on the sand and meets his last dawn. Claire begins to sing as she looks at the rising sun. This is all she can do, because all those who ruined her life are punished, and what will happen to her no longer matters. If you like this recap, I recommend that you check out the recap of the drama Just Mercy, which is linked to on the right. Thanks for watching.